in the pending global reset. Left brain jobs will be wiped out by Google, robots, and outsourcing. The antidote is the unoutsourceable superpower of the flow state. Welcome to What the Flow, where we discuss making money easier, connecting deeper, and creating your own luck. And WTF, why we numb out, sabotage, and play small, and how to change it. It's Flow Time with Tony.
WTF. What the Flow. Welcome, Tony Lister. Excited that you're joining me today. You're going to notice a sound quality difference. My digital recorder crashed out on my trip to Nepal. I got another one actually just arrived in the mail. It's at my mailbox today, but I apologize for the audio quality. I'm kind of an audio snob, and I recognize that today's audio quality is not what it normally is. So my apologies. I'm going to keep today's message kind of short. If you're not watching this on YouTube or on Instagram or on the video, I'm dressed in the traditional Nepali dress, which is kind of this like funky little, I don't know. If you watch on the video, it's like got this cool looking black hat that is, you get these funny pants that are like really wide in the waist. And I'm in my office where I shoot videos. And I it's where this is in terms of timeline. This podcast is all over the map as far as timelines go. And we're right in the middle of the coronavirus stuff. And everybody's on lockdown. You know, California shut everything down. Ohio shut everything down. New York shut everything down. Kids are out of school. You probably hear them in the background. They're goofing off and pretending to be homeschooling. And I'm having this awareness in me of kind of a lamenting of what was. Because the world's not going to be the same for any of us. You can't disrupt the marketplace like this and then just have it all turned back on. That's a ridiculous idea that maybe a politician might believe, but I've been an entrepreneur for 20 plus years. You can't do that. And so there's this awareness that I'm having of my dear friends who have these businesses that are their lifeblood, it's not just a business. It's an expression of their being. And these businesses are totally disrupted. And they're having to lay off employees. And these employees who show up in the space of working for these entrepreneurs, this is their lifeblood. This is their expression of being. Particularly those that really show up and have this beautiful expression of their work. It's not just a paycheck. It's an expression of who they are as a human being. And all of this is disrupted. And there's this giant unknown in the marketplace. There's this, we don't know where this plane's going to land. And for some of us, it's going to be a complete, utter disaster, reset. It's going to challenge us to the core of who we are as a human being. And our identity is going to get challenged. We're going to, like this is the marketing side of me. Like I've studied marketing, right? So we respond as human beings to this knee-jerk response when there's a fear of loss around survival, reproduction, and status. All of that is challenged right now for all of us. We're in this holding pattern. Everybody's in like quarantine going, what the hell's going on? Like, what is this? What's going to happen? Where's it going to go? What's going to be? What about my job? What about my stuff? What about my house? What about my livelihood? What about my ability to provide? Who am I in society if this goes sideways? How do I pay my rent? How do I pay my mortgage? How do I pay my employees? Like it's this expansive thing I've never witnessed ever before. Like I went completely broke in the 2008, 2009 real estate crash. I went from having, like the previous year made about $1 million to then being completely broke, not knowing how I was going to heat my house for the winter. With 4 kids at the time, terrified. But the worst part about it was my identity was crushed. Like it was like, I thought I was somebody because I had achieved business success. It validated this very broken part of my identity that as a teenager, people said, you're never going to amount to anything. And so much of my success was trying to prove those old men wrong, to prove them wrong, that I was somebody, I was something. And all that fell apart, which was harder than selling my houses or my cars or my motorcycles or my furniture or the dishes or the silverware, which I sold all of. That was hard. That was uncomfortable. That was embarrassing. But the identity crush, like who was I as a human being? Who was I in terms of the value of my, like being a valuable person? That got completely obliterated. And I went into hiding. Went into this place of literally going into hiding. I moved out of my home that had been my dream home, and all I could afford. Like I sold my car and I paid rent on this house I saw online. It looked nice on the outside, and they had just redone the siding on it. It was like this, 50 or 60-year-old house, and on the inside it was just like completely like not updated since the 50s. Run down. You turn on the shower and the pipes would bang in the walls. You go down into the cellar basement. All the children were terrified to go into. Terrified. They wouldn't go down in the laundry room. And I was down there doing laundry, and I looked up on the wall, and up on the wall there were these snake skins. Like a big freaking long snake skin, like an 8-foot long snake skin. Like if you can imagine the dowel, the piece of wood in your closet, it was like a snake skin like that long, hanging off the rafter of the beams of this awful old cellar of a basement where our laundry room was. And I got up there with a stick to knock it down because I didn't want anybody in the family to see it. I was terrified. It's like, man, if they see this, they're going to be freaked out. And when I got up there to knock it down with a stick, I looked up into the rafters up underneath the subfloor of the house. And there was like 100 of those snake skins hanging there. And from this space of hiding, my next door neighbor was this published author, and the CBS news van would come and interview him. I'd see CBS Evening News coming over to interview him because he was like an important author. And I just felt like such a nobody. It was like such a difficult reset of my identity. But I'm sitting here tonight. I put on this traditional Nepali dress because I'm in mourning. I just had this incredible life-altering experience with this group of people at our spiritual adventure retreat. And, I made some podcasts from there, not knowing what I was coming home to. Barely getting back into the country before everything got shut down. And I'm in this place of mourning for my dear friends who took the risk to start a business, who figured out how to make it happen, who created a valuable product or service in the marketplace, who put their blood, sweat, and tears into it. And it's like completely disrupted. And my dear friends who pour their lives into other people's businesses, who show up for work every day as these incredible employees, not just there for a paycheck. They're there to move a cause forward. They're there to express themselves as a human being, and their preference is to work as an employee. They're not better or worse. Every one of us is needed in this cycle, in this process. And their lives are disrupted. Their games are disrupted. These things are disrupted. So I was sitting here tonight, and I was kind of just like, I was just feeling this sadness in the uncertainty in the hearts and the lives of so many people that I love. I'm reading about this all across the world. Like our entire world is shell-shocked in this place of going, what the hell do I do? It's this deep challenge to the core of who we believe that we are. Our survival is challenged. Our livelihood is challenged. Who are we? How do we provide? What are we going to do? This tremendous fear that comes up. Reproduction, right? This is the instinct for sex, this instinct to connect, this instinct to pass on our genes, but it's deeper than that. It's this need to be known, this need to be witnessed, this need to be touched. And it's like uncertain now because our finances are uncertain, because our situation is uncertain, and then the third one is the status. Like, who are we? Each of us is desperately trying so hard to be somebody, to be enough. And we do this for this outside thing. If I can be enough for these people, if I can get enough people online to validate me, if I can get enough people to buy my product, if I can show that I have these things, or if I can be sexy enough, I can get enough people to want to have sex with me, if I can show that I have this value, this draw, this importance, then maybe deep down inside me, I'll feel like I'm okay. And all of this is this quest. Really? It's not about the survival on the outside. It's not about the reproduction or having others validate us that we're sexy, we're attractive, we're desirable, they want to be with us, or we have some kind of value. It's not status, that we're somebody. It's this quest on the inside of us to convince ourselves that we're okay. To convince ourselves that who we are is valuable. To convince ourselves that we're enough. To create a place where we can feel safe. We never really get there. That we're lovable enough, and unless we deeply learn to love ourselves, we never really get there. That we're important enough. Unless we honor who we are as a being, it's never enough. So I just I don't know, I'm sitting here tonight and I'm just lamenting the dreams lost. I'm lamenting the lives invested in this quest that we all have. I'm contemplating the journey I went through when I lost all of those things, and I went through years of hiding, years of deep and secretly inside of me thinking there's something wrong with me. Out externally, putting on a show, putting on a presentation, making money, getting stuff, but deeply inside thinking I was just messed up, and if you really knew me, you couldn't love me. And I'm watching the whole world get rocked at the same time. The games we've been playing, they're going to change. How are they going to change? I don't know. Who knows? No one has a crystal ball. Some people are going to make money. Some people are going to lose money. Some people are going to have it really super difficult. Some people are going to create opportunities from this. And some of us, if we're lucky enough, if we're I don't see the people that make a bunch of money from this as the lucky. And I don't see the people that completely implode and they go through struggle as the unlucky. Those of us that are truly the lucky ones are those that can step back from this chaos, step back from this global reset, step back from this uncertainty, this survival instinct we have as a planet. We've never done this at the same time as a planet, as a species of human beings, as a race, the human race. We've never gotten shocked like this before. And those of us that are the very, very, very luckiest are those that can realize that in this moment, it's okay to be human. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not know what to do next. It's okay to not know how it's going to play out. It's okay to want to huddle together and to hold each other and to cherish those who we love. It's okay to not know where, the next paycheck's going to come from, or how we're going to pay our rent, or how we're going to pay our mortgage, or if we're going to have to leave our possessions, or what are we going to do, and what happens to society, and what about this awful, god-awful social distancing. We're not allowed to touch each other. We're not allowed to hug each other. We're not allowed to connect with each other. We're forced into this strange isolation because the powers that be tell us this is how you're going to be safe. And so our instinct towards safety, our instinct towards survival keeps us from being the very thing that we are. Flesh, living, breathing, wanting, loving, needing human beings. And so the very luckiest among us can see past the collapse of empires, can see past the transition of life, circumstances, and possessions, and living arrangements, and job situations, can see past the terror and the fear and the uncertainty that can grip us, can see past the changes in who's who and who's not who, and can connect with ourselves as a human being and go, it's okay. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to cry. It's okay to just want to huddle together and hold each other and feel like that we're just okay in this moment. To go back to what we've been doing for eons. And sitting around the fire, not knowing where the next meal is coming from, not knowing what tomorrow will bring, not knowing what lurks in the darkness, but leaning into each other and holding each other in the dark, not knowing when the light's going to come again. So I just wanted to dress up a little tonight and breathe in a little bit of the magic that I experienced last week before the whole world changed. Breathe in, this is the outfit I wore at the orphanage when we had the dance party for the orphans, and they just wanted to dance and dance and dance. And all of us, like adults, were done dancing. We're like, and they just wanted to dance and dance and dance. They just wanted to hold each other and celebrate this moment of being alive. So wherever you are, whatever you're facing, whatever crazy uncertainty is going on inside of you, it's okay to be human. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to not know. It's okay to want to feel safe. It's okay to want to be known, to be witnessed by another human being, to not have to show up other than our flawed, scared, beautiful, open-hearted, loving selves. To not know where we fit in this whole game of society. That's the game of musical chairs is reshuffling. The lights are out. We don't know what chairs are going to be there when the lights flip back on. And if you can have this experience in you and let you be okay. Let you be okay in this moment. To be human. To be scared. To just want to be loved. And maybe if you're really lucky, to be able to be courageous enough to just say so. And find another human. And screw all this ridiculous social distancing. And give somebody a hug. And let yourself be hugged. Then you're the lucky one. We can do this. We can do this. We just need to remember to hug each other. Thank you for giving me a reason to share. In the meantime, create yourself a fantastic day.
If you're ready now to access the superpower of the flow state in your life, download the free mini course to learn the 3 easy steps of Tony's morning ritual. Now go and create some luck.